controlling transmission.
Today's topic is your faith. This year, 2018, I will break down to you how psychology observes that. What does that even look like? What does that even mean for you today? And the things that we see as and what can change in these times. So, as the guru, which is a past paradigm, since we have the internet, you don't need to sit in an ashram anymore. You do your work by being in life, hands-on, where you are, if you're satisfied with where you are. So, what does faith look like? Faith looks like forming a picture in your mind of a goal that you wish to reach, and then developing the feeling that it is so. With everything that you have, despite the fact of what your belief system says, yes or no. Some are more pro, some are more con. Be conned by the mind or the subconscious. Meaning creating goals and then creating wanted outcomes is the message of today. So, in all the drama we have seen for 30,000 years, the accumulation of that is and I'm not going into detail what has happened the last years. Things happen to remind us of where we are. I will give you positive examples of where we're going. One is when movies that no one believed in a cast where you could say your so-called Hollywood said it's impossible and depth couldn't be sold, were proven wrong, as in with the #1 movie in movie history with depth and a completely different cast than expected. This is past what you think it is or is being propagated. This is about creation and us working together and letting all creative aspects of everything that is here and all colors of the rainbow express themselves freely and truly and honestly to who they are, with discipline, to teach our offspring that we can do this. One positive example I also have seen, I said, and I have to bring this in, when people talked about more sensitive gun laws, is we have seen people selling their collections, groups getting together, cutting their rifles in half with a metal cutter, so the barrel will never be aimed at a target that represents life. So when consciousness understands you don't need to arm yourself against your own kind, and that collective no longer is fed nor supported, people with authority and psychological evaluation shall have access, none other. All monitored, GPS'd, recorded, tracked, like a flight log. So we know exactly what's going on. This is what is being installed. This is a challenge, but we will overcome this as people realizing, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? And where's the honor in that? Understand that you are a very powerful species, a very unique species. and you need it on this planet. So, as in everything is energy this year, the faith situation also has it is, where's your faith? No matter what book or religion or whatever you rely on as in your belief system, everybody has their own mythological template of what they believe in and how they interpret their miracles. Faith is really feeling what you're doing, undisturbed and if that's even a word, perturbed by what others may project towards you. This is also the year of faith is being amplified. So know this, if you have faith in static, you'll amplify static. If you have faith in compassion, you amplify? Interesting. You'll amplify compassion. If you are in disbelief and critical of the world, you will amplify everything within you that is in disbelief and in dissonance with yourself. And when harmony and compassion and non-violent actions are combined, great things will come forth. When you literally in your mind disarm yourself and trust in that what you call God, the source, Gaia, whatever your belief system is, as in the highest, as in the most high, the purest version of you, connecting to source, great miracles can unfold and serve you. As in the ancient Vedic systems, my interpretation is like every thought is a program. Every thought also is a spirit form, more or less. What thoughts are you subscribing to? Other channels are you subscribing to? What beings are you subscribing to? And know what you are subscribing to. I have learned that I very much like the sensitive and the creative and architectural art of Arcturus, which is the dominant side. I also have a Syrian aspect where I like the warrior, the charger, the fire, let's get it going, initiate and move forward. And let these aspects of, let's say, water and fire dance together. Find your aspects within you, from earthly template to galactic template. You move further to your galactic heritage and knowledge of who you are, the closer you move to this is me. This is psychologically how I would evaluate myself. Also note, if you are more busy with projecting outwardly the imperfections of others, because you have a problem with that, you most likely not in your purpose doing your job. The job here is to enrich one another, to learn from one another, and not be cocky in thinking that you're the be-all, end-all. I heard like many physicists claim why contact with extraterrestrials should be avoided is silly, because they think that we have nothing to offer them, and then they use examples. You never go to an anthill and talk to the ants because the ants have nothing to offer you. Well, I had an experience 10 years ago, and you might laugh, where I was fully conscious, call it God conscious, connected with everything, call it the psychedelic experience, whatever you want to call it. Some people seem to need mind-altering things, some can do it by themselves. I was in the woods, and I communicated actually with an anthill. And here's the thing that I found, what they have to offer. They are teachers in their own mind, in their own collective, of how they work together as a community. And we have to learn. as the native said, from the ant people or the ants, great deals are to learn. So I'd say, how dare a physicist say we don't talk to the animal kingdom because the animals have nothing to offer us. So why would the ETs talk to us because we have nothing to offer them? First off, you are their offspring. That's the joke. And if they say, if they exist, so basically it's like, maybe my parents don't exist. Maybe they didn't give birth to me. Maybe I'm something else. Well, that is up to the individual of what you want to believe. But we are their offspring, you know? And we know. We are over 1 billion people deep that know. They've seen what they've seen. And there is no regular status quo scientific explanation of the experience. That have left traces, people scarred, psychologically in distress, and so on and so forth. The plethora of evidence that we have with contact is overwhelming. Thanks to the heavens, more is coming in. So this year, concentrate on your faith. Be clear in what you believe in and how you are going about to achieving your goals. By saying, a desire, is a desire needed or is it wanted? Are you traveling at the speed of greed, at the speed of need, or are you letting the river carry you at the speed of what is actually here for you, purposefully, by divine right for you? So your faith is the most powerful thing these days that you can have. And talking about religion, babies don't know about religion. They are taught, and then the doctrine comes in, and then they adjust and adapt to what society mainly seems to run. That doesn't make it real. What makes it real is if somebody has a belief of a situation and a goal that he or she wants to actually approach and reach, and they're reaching that, and the outcome is wanted. That is the first basic rule of that miracle becoming true. And that is what we learn to follow. So your sight is going to be more sensitive. What's up close? What's up in the distance? You might feel dizzy getting up. You might lay in bed and wake up one morning and you can't read your clock for a minute. It looks like gibberish or letters that you don't understand, and you need a moment to come in to read the clock because you have been something else, somewhere else, where this didn't matter, and you need time to download yourself back into your body to understand or understand, okay, this is Earth, this is where my memory is, this is where my download is, that is my interface to the Akashic as I'm reporting human behavior, and all of you are doing it. All the experience that you have in your life is being reported upstairs. It doesn't matter how people want to display the fairy tale of how they do it and what they want to do is. Fact of the matter is what can be made physical, what can be brought down here and put forth into reality. You are the creator, you are the co-creator, and you are also the maker, but you're also an offspring of celestial intelligence. Never forget that. So now, as the subconscious is connecting with you more and more, you'll have more access to data to bring that forth. So be mindful of your thoughts, be mindful of your words and your deeds. Even if you think you want to commit those little white lies or crimes. Be this year, most of all, concentrating in and about compassion. Be kind to one another, and greater things can unfold. Be brave in the endeavors of creating a fifth dimensional job, which is from the immaterial world, which is the cyberspace. Money, PayPal, eBay, all of these letters we click on the computer are immaterial, but they help you to direct material. And we're using that on our way up into the immaterial world. But we still need the echo of the illusion of material to create material. So as long as this counts, this is what we're going through, and we're all being counseled by our guides, by extraterrestrial beings, everything, angels that is around us. Many have come this far. We also have seen a few that completely denounced what they have been into because they think they had an epiphany and a new way of a belief system not realizing or understanding it's costing them. Creation, product, names, publishing, it is crumbling. Simply to show you the path of it doesn't matter what your profession is. From janitor to president, it makes no difference. If you misuse the powers that are given to you, and I will end this speech with a storyline, which is an ancient, oral, traditional African tale about the seer. So note this, you are responsible for everything that you do, for everything has an echo and reflects back to the all what has been done and how it's been done. Claiming pictures or situations that people can't relate to makes you unrelatable. The mission is now can you be understood? Are you speaking clearly? Are you a likable personality? Am I talking in a way that you feel like I'm talking to you? Or am I being superficial? Depth is required to create. Length, width, height, and depth. Very important things in this dimension. Depth dimension gives that what you create meaning. And now to the story. And this is what's coming to us. Now imagine, and some will probably hold their breath or their heart will beat different after I've shared that story, but this is the purpose. A friend of mine, a girl, was in a relationship and she wasn't really happy. She wanted to open it, but she was afraid for the ultimatum that would be given by the boyfriend. So she found another man, had an intimate exchange, and came home. And her boyfriend at the time said, I had this weird dream. I'd seen you at a bar somewhere, and then you went home with this guy and he was dressed in black, and you made love passionate, and then you came home. And the girl was like, kind of like smiling because she had a good memory. You know, making love doesn't make you a betrayer. But she was afraid he would know that this would be over, as in the comfort zone, but not living her freedom. And then she replied, must have been a dream, and laughed it off, and he was laughing it off. And at some point, you know, everything just bubbled to the surface and they're no longer together, which leads to the story of the seer. So when the tribe would have trouble in the ancient days, and that what we call magic, as in the higher fields and the resonance and being in tune with that was there. And some people, which the shaman or the seer, were very much in tune with that, would be called by the leader of the tribe or the nation, saying, okay, there's a lot of unrest in my people and things going on where I don't feel the harmony and the resonance within my tribe. And then the seer would show up and would have the tribe line up in the village. And then he would walk down the aisle, nobody would say a word, and then he would look at everybody, and then they would make a fire for clearing, and then they would, and if it was 200 people, it would be 200 people around a big fire, and they would all be lined up for everybody to see, so everybody can hear. And then the seer would be like, I will bring harmony, but you must listen to what I say. So the healer steps into the cipher, and he looks at the first person and he goes, you were stealing milk from your neighbor, and your neighbor didn't know this because he had more than enough. I want you to apologize, and I want the neighbor, if he has too much, not to pour the milk out in the dirt, but whatever he has extra, he may give to you, and the stealing will cease. He brings out the two beings, And he'd say, do we have an agreement? And both go, I know I had too much, I wasn't sharing, I wasn't thinking. I will share from now on. Even if you have more to share, I will share with more to what my capacity is. And the thief would say, you know, I work on your fence, or I do some work or some social exchange. I am sorry if you are stealing the milk. Not that I recommend milk products, you don't get me wrong, as you see the metaphor. Then, you know, then there was another guy who had like 3 women, and they all 3 had no idea that they are the lovers. So he got the guy out, said, you, woman number 1, woman number 2, woman number 3, all step forward, please. And he would say, he is in love with all 3 of you. You all 3, none of them were married, are not in awareness of what's going on. So I want all of you to, in transparency, find a mutual agreement so this can be handled each other weekend. And those who don't wish to share, not to act out in anger, step back in silence and find a way to modulate that what you feel that you're not in agreement, and find that what you're in agreement with, but it must be cleared now, not held in the air. No more lies. Preferably all 4 agree, no war. The 4 agreed, they stepped back into their lane, and more harmony could take place, more transparency was there. One boy always came late from school and always, you know, told his mother a lie why he came late, because he was afraid of punishment. So he's like, I want the boy and the mother to step forward, please. Now listen. The boy goes by the river because he likes to look at the fish after school. He gives him a good feeling. He feels enchanted by the river. Maybe one day he wants to become a fisherman, who knows, but he's feeling safe there, and it gives him peace. And then he comes home. That's why he's late. He's afraid to share that because he might feel that you in your heart don't feel that freedom that the boy is taking, not being in danger, coming home late. I want you two to find an agreement that will harmonize the relationship between you two. And the mother says she's okay with that. She loves her boy the same. So an abusive love relationship is not being created, as many people do that. We lie so we will be loved. We don't say no because we people please, but maybe we're not in that space anymore. So this is the story. The seer would come and will peel out all of the stuff that, you know, was in dissonance. So the last story I'd like to share is, this is about actually also globally for more people, as in the people pleasing. He brings out a woman that always puts her misery second and takes in the misery of others and takes it all on and tries to please the entire village. And she's, you know, she's a saint. She's like Mother Teresa, but she's actually very depressed. So the seer steps in front of her, brings her forward and says, you're actually very depressed. You work for everybody. The exchange is not satisfying. I don't see you replenished or fulfilled. I want everybody now, from now on, to respect that woman's space and time. And that woman will say no when no is to be said. And this is also for you. When you have to say no, when somebody say, let's go and let's do the crazy things and go all out and just, I don't know, blow something up, just metaphorically speaking. You know, go somewhere, party, whatever, climb a hill, and you're not in the mood. Speak your truth. Do not please somebody and create abusive love relationships because you want to be loved. This is important for this year. And say no. And if these people have a problem with you or a conflict because you're saying you're not in agreement right now with that endeavor, then they don't respect you, then they are not your friends. In a friendship or in a crisis, when things are being healed, how is it? One will walk away, the other one will stay. If two will stay and face the conflict and dissolve it, then they are mature enough to develop a depth in the relationship. Relationships to all will open more up, face this, as in contractual agreements that we used to have will be different in the future. Before we will create children and bring children into this world will be also a very holy and sacred thing, and it will also slow down, as in the population will also become a different level as we've reached heights now. This will also level out. We had peaked, everything will come to a peace. Like when you put your finger in a little pond and you move it, you see the pond create these ripples. That's when you create. The minute you remove your hand or your finger from that pond, what happens to the ripples? The ripples calm down and the surface becomes placid again, and it is realigning to peace. And this is what you have to understand, is the self-aligning software of nature will always come back to peace. If those are out there that still want to resist and create ruckus, you'll have ruckus amplified coming in your direction. It'll be self-destructive. Meaning companies that do not have clarity within their business and transparency will disappear, will go bankrupt, will sign out, log off, no longer coming back, because our consciousness no longer is subscribing to what we call the okie doke. We will make more sense in the future. Our faith will be clear. Your faith will be honored, but work must be done. If you want to reap, you must sow. If you have a garden, or not an idea of a garden, put the walls into the dirt, mark it out. What seeds are you trying to plant? Every thought form, everything is here to inspire, to bring forth and enhance the beauty of which is the lotus of the energy of that is what is your soul. And this is for you, none other. So blessed you be from my heart. Speak your truth. Do not pretend. Be honest. And allow yourself to face everything that you have to face. So something you need to say it. You want to talk to somebody or you want to communicate something, be brave enough. Like in Matrix, the Oracle. In hip-hop, we would say, don't play yourself. She knows more than you know. Mother Gaia knows more than you know. Your spirit knows more than your logic mind. Your subconscious is much more powerful than your conscious. Don't be cocky. Be humble. Humility is a word that I heard as of late. Here's the thing. If a teacher speaks in the future, as in I'm calling remote coaches, not even guru anymore, it is channeled what comes through, and we deliver it as such. And it's when you paint the wall white, there's no discussion, everybody can see it is white. When it rains, there's no discussion. When you step outside without an umbrella, what happens? In your mind, you agree. So find universal, agreeable things, and we all find the common denominator that shows you that we enrich each other. Ants have a lot to offer, as in how their little community is run, and how they build, and how they exist. And once you are brave enough to connect with the collectives that you think you have nothing to do with, you understand one is all and all is one. And on that note, I see you most certainly on that what we call the flip side. Be well.